stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the door. Stay clear of the door. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode number 236 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Today's Monday, January the 27th, 2025. Did I say 236? I meant 237 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. But you know what? We don't do retakes. This is a one-take show, and we keep it rolling. You know why? Because we are back to video, and I don't want to make it any harder than it already is on the video editor. We go straight through this thing. You get raw, unedited video when you watch the Monday Morning Monorail podcast, for the most part. But make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube so you can check it out and verify whether or not I'm telling you the truth. It's a little carrot. That's the carrot. Don't make me get out the stick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Friends, dreamers, it is another wonderful week. The last full week of January of 2025. Can't believe February is almost upon us, and that means farts will be going away before we know it, which is very, very sad. But we've still got some time, and I don't think that I have yet shared my thoughts on some of the foods that I tried at the Festival of the Arts. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We've also got some Walt Disney World news that we're going to get to and plenty of other things. But before we do that, I need to welcome in my co-pilot today. We're short one. He's taking a little day off, some well-deserved R&R time, but our hearts and thoughts are with Landon the Dawsdone. We love him very much. I'm sure the Monorail family is behind me and sends their thoughts and love to him as well. And we are going to do our best in honor of not only Landon, but Papa Doan as well. We love the whole Doan family, and we're going to continue to move this train forward in their honor. But before we do that, let's welcome in the second banana to my first grape. I don't have any idea what I'm saying. It's Stephers!
You said banana, and I was like, oh no, where is this going? What is he going to say? This is a family show. What are we doing?
Stephers, sometimes I start saying things, and I don't know where it's going to end. I'm not sure.
Clearly. Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you get on the monorail and you end up at the airport instead of at Magic Kingdom. And well,
that's true.
Though it is the best ride, it is also the saddest ride.
Saddest. It is. It's a bookend. It's your happiest ride in Orlando, and then it's your saddest ride in Orlando. But yes, the MCO monorail, of course, the best ride in Orlando, as we decided last March. Yeah.
And we'll continue. Well, I mean, maybe we won't. I guess you'll have to, wait until our March Madness bracket of 2025 to really know if the MCO monorail will retain its title as number one, whatever attraction ride thing in Orlando. I don't even remember what the official title is, but the number one.
It doesn't matter. It's number one.
Number one.
Yeah. Stephers, how are you doing on this Sunday?
Pretty good. I have so much. Fun fact, I am the editor, the video editor, but I also do editing for other people. So I have a lot of editing to do. And Gimli's birthday is this week. And so we're having a party that's really benefiting the adults, not necessarily, him, but we're having a party next week. So I have to start prepping and planning for that.
Wow.
He's turning 5.
Wow.
January is almost over and Gimli is now 5. Like, where did the time go? I don't know.
He's about to catch me. He's entering his middle ages.
Yeah, something like that. He's still stinky, so it's fine.
Well, he's a sweet boy and deserves a party, of course. You say the adults are mostly going to get the benefit, but are you getting Gimli some gifts, some treats?
Oh, yeah. No, so I'm home making some treats.
Okay.
because I am in my baking home from scratch era. So I'm going to be baking him some treats. My friend is making some peanut butter cookies. There's like a whole thing that's going to happen.
You're going to give him lots of chocolate, right?
Yes, because that's the number one thing dogs love is chocolate. Actually, you know what's funny is my friend said that her dog ate like a whole bar of chocolate and he was completely fine. And I was like, listen.
I really do think that it's sort of dog dependent. I don't think you should ever give your dog chocolate, but
correct.
But my dog, Yue, one of the other co-pilots of the monorail, sometimes she finds her way into eating chocolate, usually wrapper and all. And she's been okay. She's made it to 14. So
listen,
who can argue with it at this point?
Who really can argue? But yeah, no, we're having that. And is there anything else going on? That's really it, I think. I'm here checking along the monorail.
When is Gimli's official birthday?
The 30th, so Thursday.
Okay, well, happy birthday to Gimli on the 30th. Everybody remember Gimli on the 30th and pet your dogs and give them treats on Gimli's behalf.
True.
He should.
Great idea.
Make sure to hold up the treat to the dog and say, "This is for Gimli," and then give it to them.
Well, if you must, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
Make sure to take a video and tag us too.
And we're giving you a heads up, which is good because if you don't have treats or anything to give to your dog, you can order them. And
yes, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Which leads me to reminding you that sometimes you might need to order groceries or treats for yourself when you're at Walt Disney World, staying at a Walt Disney World Resort. And did we tell you we have a new affiliate here for the Monday Morning Monorail fam? It's our first Morning Monorail fam affiliate. It's Vacation Grocery Delivery. Their website is www.vacationgrocerydeliveryfl.com. And as a reminder, this is a company run by former Disney cast members, and they can help you get your groceries, get everything you need, all your must-have items to your resort room. They have easy ordering it's all online, item-specific notes for preferences, and they even do special water delivery options for $4.49. But just make sure you're planning ahead because it does. You have to finalize your orders 3 days before you need them delivered. So keep that in mind. When you do order with vacationgrocerydeliveryfl.com, make sure you use the promo code DIZMornings with an S, DIZMornings, for $5 off any grocery order or $10 off any 2 items on the magical extras. And it'll make sure that they know we are sending people their way, and that's only going to help us. So hook them up, hook us up. Help us help you and help the Vacation Grocery Delivery people. Thanks, Vacation Grocery Delivery. Glad to have you on the team.
True.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that takes care of all of the early business. I think we should jump right on in to the Walt Disney World news. That's right, dreamers. We're back once again with the news from the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. And as always, if you'd like to follow along with the notes and the news and the headlines, you can
the newts and the salamanders.
The lizards. You can slither your way on over to DizMornings.com. We've got blogs, we've got news covering the Walt Disney World Resort. We also have crowd calendars. We have a rumors tracker. We've got all kinds of things that you need. So go check that out and you can read along as we go. Lots of fun things to talk about, some sad things to talk about today. But I'm going to start out in Flavortown. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever been to Disney Springs? I bet you have. If you haven't, you may know or may not know that Guy Fieri has his own little location there in Disney Springs called the Chicken Guy, where you can get some delicious chicken tendies. But really, the reason you go to Chicken Guy is for the sauces.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say for the shade.
For the shade. For the shade. They're going to throw shade at you and they've added shade. No, it's for the sauces. They have so many sauces. And
good sauces, too.
Oh, good sauces. I think the sauces are better than the chicken. That's just my hot take. But definitely go check it out. It's over by Planet Hollywood, just conveniently located right across from the bathrooms. If you need to if greasy chicken makes you run in the bathroom, it's convenient. It's right there. But here's some really good news. As we all know, it's fun when you're in Florida to dine outside, but also the sun is sometimes unbearable. and makes it really not fun to dine outside. Breaking news, there is a new shaded seating area replacing a similar area that previously just had umbrellas over the tables. Umbrellas. I'm so self-conscious about the way I say that word.
Umbrella?
Umbrellas over the tables. The new structure provides some shade from the sun, but it does have roof slats that have some openings. So this is not going to provide any protection from rain. But I will say this. Typically on a rainy day in Florida, when those 3 p.m. thunderstorms break out, especially in the summertime, you don't want to be eating outside anyway. There's no protection from that. You can try to use an umbrella over a table, but it's not going to protect you. So you better be sitting inside. This is really more to protect you from the sun and give you a cooler spot to sit if you'd like to be outside and kind of take in the people watching. And I like to do that, especially in Disney Springs. If you want to compare it to something similar that just got added to Epcot, over near the Imagination Pavilion, there used to be a playground area that was sort of on that walkway. If you're walking from the Imagination Pavilion towards World Showcase, it's on the right, and you just kind of curve around there. There was a playground over on the right, and that's been replaced with there's like artificial turf down on the ground, and they've added these sail shades that are over the top. But it's not going to keep you dry because they don't provide full coverage. But when I was over there last Sunday, I noticed that it provided a good significant amount of shade, and there were a lot of people sitting over there. So I'm just going to say, I think this is a good addition to Chicken Guy. More shady seating outside is a good thing, but just keep in mind, not going to keep you dry. That's okay. You're going to get, covered in sauce anyway. Just take your poncho. You'll be fine.
And sweat. Let's be real. Covered in sauce, covered in sweat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're with somebody who's very messy, there's
You're
a
in the
gamut of
splash
things.
zone.
You're in the splash zone. Exactly. So typically I don't think I've ever eaten outside when I go to Disney Springs. I'm trying to think. The only time that I really enjoy the outside area is that stage area, right after it opened, after the world caught on fire. We went after our wedding and we sat there and we enjoyed some Joffrey's coffee. But other than that, I don't think I've ever really dined outside at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. No.
Well, I guess it makes sense, especially like you said, because it can be kind of sweltering, and if you don't want to be out in the heat. But I feel like Stephers, we all know you're super fancy, so you're probably just dining at like STK every time you go.
Oh yeah, true. Every single time, but it's funny because every single time I've gone to Chicken Guy, I'm 95% positive I've always dined inside.
Yeah.
If the place is busy, obviously you have no choice but to sit outside, but I don't think I've always gotten lucky, I think. But now someone's gonna fact check me. My own friends are gonna fact check me and be like, no, I'm like, listen, let me say my piece here. Yeah. But yeah, no, Chicken Guy, I enjoy it. It's a nice little quick service.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not my favorite chicken tendy location, but it's not bad.
You know what was a really good place that we went to when I went down a couple years ago?
What's that?
Huey Magoober's. Oh, that's not what it's called, but
Huey Magoo's is good. Yeah,
it was a good sandwich I had.
Oh man, I actually had that a couple weeks ago. It's been a while. It's probably time for some more Huey Magoo's. That's good stuff. Yeah, I don't know if that's just a local place. I know they have several places down here, but I haven't seen Huey Magoo's anywhere.
I've never heard of it until down there. But then somewhere near me, I was like, oh, they're opening one here. I've been here before. I went with Justin, and then I don't remember where that was. So I think it's just a down there thing.
It's interesting, the chicken tender debate. Like, are you a Raising Cane's person?
Never been.
Are you a Zaxby's person?
I do prefer Zaxby's over most chicken tendies, but Zaxby's is so expensive, so I won't even bother. I just won't eat the chicken tendies. But we also have Bojangles here.
Yeah.
So, that's
We do, too. We actually have a Bojangles nearby, and it only serves chicken tenders. It doesn't have, that's its only menu. Is you can get sandwiches with chicken tenders on them or chicken tender meals. I've never seen a Bojangles like that before.
So you don't have bow rounds, bow biscuits,
They have biscuits. They do have biscuits, but they don't offer. That's good. They don't offer chicken piece dinner where you could get thighs or drumsticks or any of that kind of stuff, breasts.
The great chicken debate. What is your go-to chicken tendy place?
I think that might be the question of the week.
so just, why not? Let us know.
We could make it Disney themed. On Disney property, where do you get the best chicken tenders? Honestly. And
I feel like they all source from the same source, though.
Yeah, well, but maybe, yeah, you're probably right. Okay.
I mean, maybe not. Like, I don't know. Well, I guess if we count Disney Springs, then yes, that there are different options. But I feel like if we're just counting like Disney, like the immediate Disney World Resort area, like the hotels and stuff, I think that they all would source them from the same place in my head. But maybe I'm wrong. But like Disney Springs has more like leniency in terms of like, because it's separate places.
They're external businesses.
That's the word, external.
Yeah. Well,
speaking of resorts, let's go on over to, there's an update on one of the resorts. Permits have been filed for a lengthy refurbishment of guest rooms at Disney's Pop Century Resort. Walt Disney World has filed notice of commencement permits for the lengthy room refurbishment scheduled at Disney's Pop Century Resort. The permit lists JCQ Services as the contractor, and they have an expiration date of August 28th, 2026. The permit also informs us what buildings are being refurbished, which covers buildings 1, 2, and 3. This is the 50s section of the resort on the north end of the campus-style complex. Is the 50s the one that's close to everything? Or is that... Because there's usually like a section that people recommend to be close to the Skyliner, and then there's one that's close to... Is it both the Skyliner? There's usually like a recommended, and I feel like it was the 50s area.
It could be. I've stayed at Pop a few times, and for the life of me, I can't remember the layout.
I've stayed once, and I have to tell you, it was the most confusing resort I've ever like walked around. Yeah.
I didn't have that.
No, okay, not as confusing as Portofino. I still get confused at Portofino because like you make a wrong turn and you're like in Italy instead of like at Starbucks.
Yeah, that is super confusing. I got lost. I've never stayed there, but I went over there once to walk around and I was lost.
No, Pop Century though is so great because like even when you make a wrong turn, like it's still great because I've seen so many things accidentally that I'm just like, oh, this is so fun. But no, I got so lost, and I'm one of those people that's like, I can figure this out. I've never been there. So I literally, my one and only, experience there, I got super lost and super turned around. But like once I left the lobby area, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, But then we ended up walking around the resort to see everything anyway. So it worked out. But the theming is really, really great. And I really want to say the 50s is like the quote unquote recommended area to be close to everything. And by everything, I mean the parks. What?
This just in, Stephers. I have the layout in front of me.
Slay.
The 50s is on the north end of the campus. It's definitely closer to the main building where you have the cafeteria, the lobby, all that stuff, and a little closer
to the buses,
and a little closer to the Skyliner. No, it's not. It's farther from the buses than a couple other buildings. But it's a little closer than like the 80s and 90s. But I wouldn't say it's preferred. It's just the north extreme of the property. Where you really want to be is the 60s. Because
60s, okay.
The 60s is around the big pool. It has the closest access to the lobby and main building and the Skyliner. So 60s is preferred.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 70s is good too. If you're in the 50s and you're in building 2, you're kind of far away. 50s building 3, I think would probably be the best 50s building. But
okay.
It makes me wonder. It's funny maybe they're going in chronological order with the refurbishment in terms of the decades. But I wonder if that's how they did it last time when they did the last room refurbishment, if they started with the 50s. But that is a long period of time for those rooms to be out.
Year and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
August, I said. Yeah, and we're in January.
Refurbishment.
Yeah. I mean, how long did the other, I guess maybe they weren't as long. I don't know. I feel like they were long, but maybe not a year and a half long.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was that long. And I would imagine, it's...
And they just refurbished too.
Well, I feel like that too, but I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago at this point.
I thought they were new. So I went there for my bachelorette. That's where I stayed. And then I got the new room.
Mm-hmm. But was it new like 3 years old at that point?
I don't know. Now I'm second guessing it, but it was new and I mean, I liked it a lot. I mean, it was, I have my own thoughts on that resort in terms of like if I would stay there again. But I mean, I thought that the room was, yeah, everything looked like new.
The rooms don't look bad. I mean, they did make them, with the laminate flooring or whatever that CVT flooring or whatever it is they have in there now. And I think they've held up pretty well. The rooms are pretty smartly designed, and I think they're also pretty like sturdy and stuff with the furnishings that they put in there. So they didn't wear down very, very much, but I think they're just going to do some, with the length of this though, it's like they're doing a whole new thing. I don't know. It's hard to say.
But it could be repaint. Do they repaint the building? They might be doing like the building exterior and the interior.
That's true.
I feel like that would be what it would be for a year and a half. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know.
Maybe she's born with it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Okay.
You know what I would?
Go ahead. No. I was going to
say I'm interested. I wish they would share. I guess they do. I'm going to resend what I was going to say. I wish we would get more of the conceptual stuff for the resorts, but I guess they do. Like the Incredibles stuff we saw, the Moana stuff we saw. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like an ideation person where I'm like, how did you land here?
Yeah.
I think that's really what I want. Like Imagineering story, but this.
How far ahead did we see the concepts for like the island tower rooms at the new Polynesian Tower? It seems like it was pretty close to when they started to open, when we actually saw what they look like. Yeah. So, I guess Disney, maybe it's because they don't know for sure. They have a plan for it, but they're like, we don't want to put anything out that we might have to change last minute or something.
Which is smart on their part, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah. Although that doesn't stop them when it comes to stuff in the parks.
Let it go. Let it go.
But I was just going to say, wrapping up the Pop Century discussion, I do think it's a good resort for the value. It's usually cheaper than Art of Animation because they consider Art of Animation value plus. You still get access to the Skyliner. And if you're going to stay there, I recommend the 60s or the 70s building. The 70s is going to put you closer to the buses and the Skyliner and the main lobby. So 70s may be your best bet overall. Unless you want a view of the big pool and then stay 60s. That's the play, ladies and gents.
That's the play. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Or second. Well, I don't
know. Speaking of different tiers of resorts and the different value that you get and the different amenities you get at each resort, we'd previously talked about Lightning Lane Premier Pass and how at the initial rollout of Lightning Lane Premier Pass, that was a option that was only available to guests staying at deluxe resorts at Walt Disney World. They then changed that policy not that long ago, maybe, gosh, I feel like this was like a month ago, maybe. They opened it up to everyone staying at the Walt Disney World Resort. So it didn't matter. You could be staying at a All-Star Sports. Not saying anything bad about that, but that's the lower tier, all the way up to, the Contemporary or wherever it may be. And you had access, if you would like, to purchase the Lightning Lane Premier Pass for your visit to the parks. Well, just this last week, Disney made the announcement that now guests staying at any Walt Disney World Resort and guests not even staying at Walt Disney World Resorts can now purchase the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. So everybody has access to this now. I think when we talked to Nate about this, he kind of told us that they were going to go this direction. And really when they started with Premier Pass, it was sort of a test and they were going to keep expanding it out. I don't think I realized that meant they were just going to offer it to everybody at some point. But here we are. So now you don't have to be staying on property to get the Lightning Lane Premier Pass for you and whoever's traveling with you, who's in your travel party. But the only difference is if you are staying on property at a Walt Disney World Resort, you get the advantage of purchasing the Premier Pass up to 7 days in advance of your stay. Other guests can only purchase those 3 days in advance of their park visit. So still get some advantage, but not nearly as much. This is really very, very interesting because I kind of looked at it as a more decent value, even though we've talked about how expensive the Lightning Lane Premier Pass is. And it's really for people who, you know, in my mind, this is like a special occasion kind of a thing. You're taking your family on a once in a lifetime trip and you want to make it as perfect as possible. It has its advantages. You know, Premier Pass is great because if you purchase Premier Pass for you and your party members, you don't have to book return times at any of the Lightning Lane attractions or individual Lightning Lane attractions. You can go anytime during the day, once a day at the park that you're at, to each of those attractions. There's the flexibility, peace of mind, all that. It's nice. However, it's very expensive and you're going to pay a lot for that experience. But I still thought when Disney expanded to the value, I'm like, oh, that's interesting because now are people going to start doing some math and saying, well, I'm not going to stay deluxe because I want to save that money on the room rate and I'm going to apply that. I'll stay value and apply that to a Premier Pass, especially if you're just a couple or an individual. You might want to do that math. It would make sense maybe. If you got a larger family, you're still paying a lot. But now you don't even have to be staying on property. You could be staying at home. You know, whatever it may be. So really very interesting. Stephers, did it surprise you to see this news?
Surprised me? No, I think when we all saw the price point, I mean, at least for me, I figured it would go in this direction. But the realization that I just had while you were talking about it is we have, I mean, it, you know, obviously changes, but I feel like we have all just gone full circle. Like, we literally started with the Fast Pass, then the Fast Pass. Like we've literally went back to the beginning, and the only difference is now they're charging a boatload of Disney dollar dues.
Yeah,
like this sounds pretty much exactly like how the Fast Pass used to work, except the windows is shorter and whatever. But like it. Literally, I don't know if that was like intentional, if this was like I'm also curious to know if like they announced this stuff and then, you know, shareholders or whatever, they have a meeting and they're like, after X amount of time, if we haven't sold X amount, or it's like projections, I'm sure it's some financial projections thing that they're like, oh, if we haven't sold by this much, we're not making any money off of it. So let's just see how we can sell more. But it's literally a full circle. And like the OG people, I mean, I'm saying OGs, but y'all know what I'm saying. But like the OGs that like have been to Disney since the original Fast Pass system, like it's crazy. It's not surprising in that they're charging the money for it. It's just surprising how they literally in their not diabolical, because that's, you know, negative connotation, but like in their like grand scheme of mastermind thinking, they managed to end up back where they started, but now charging so much. Oh, yeah. Like that's wild to me. But am I surprised that they have given it to everybody? No, I genuinely think the price point is a really big sticker shock. So if they can allow people who are staying at home or staying with family that like, and they're coming down for, you know, a weekend and they're saving money. Like there are so many budget friendly things you can do for your vacation. And if this is one of those things where I mean, I have friends that'll go once every 10 years, maybe. Mm-hmm. And like, this would probably benefit them. Yeah. Because you could just, you know, get it for, you know, them and their family and then, you know, they're set. But then it's like, okay, you do it once and then it entices you to go get, like, it's like a whole mind thing, I think. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I wish it was cheaper, but I also understand kind of why it's expensive. But also, why don't y'all invest back into the kiosks and just first come, first serve it?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a paper Fast Pass girl through and through.
I'm right there with you, Stephers. Paper Fast Pass till we die. But I do think that at least the price point really should discourage a lot of people from doing it, which is good because mm-hmm. you don't want to clog up the lightning lanes.
Correct.
And that's going to further impact guests who are in the standard standby. And then I still think it's kind of crazy though that yes, sure. These people who get the Premier Pass, they can go whenever they want to any of the Lightning Lane attractions and the individual Lightning Lane throughout the day. But they have to get in the same line as people who paid 10% of what they paid to get the multi-pass.
Well, I guess I didn't really think about that.
You know, and those people who book their times, they go get in the line and then they might have someone standing behind them that paid 90% more than what they paid. I don't know. It's that's an interesting sort of dynamic.
Okay, so then the question would be, and I am not saying like get rid of one or the other, but then the question becomes, so they're making single rider, they have some single rider lines, and then they were also talking about the couples in the single rider lines. So then are they going to then implement a new line for just the Premier Pass people? The answer is probably no. They're probably still going to share the line.
Yeah. But
then it's like, all right, so why am I feel like you just take your chances and purchase the $90 or the whatever, how much it is, $20 one for, sorry, I was doing math for my whole party. Yeah. Where is your deciding factor, I think is the question.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say go back to paper fast passes is just because I mean, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the technology makes the instantaneous, like instant gratification of it all a lot more stressful. And at least like you get the full, you rope drop, and then you're like, all right, well, let's see what the return time is for this. And you kind of just walk, and it entices more people to kind of not have to plan. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's been such a long time that I'm just like, Stephanie, you're out of touch. But like you plan
Stephanie?
while you're there. Oh, sorry, Stephers. My bad. But like you can plan while you're there. I feel like it takes a little bit more stress off planning ahead, and like you can plan while you're there. So then you can, which I guess would mess up dining reservations, I guess, or so. I don't know. I just feel like, yes, technology is great, and I'm really glad that like the mobile checkout's a thing and the mobile order is a thing. I just feel like fast passes, like I mean, maybe I'm just projecting. Maybe I'm stressed when I do it, but.
No, it is stressful. I think at the very least, Premier Pass does offer something which we have been asking Disney for, which is a more seamless experience. Because all you do is buy it, and then you get to use it. And that's great. I would prefer, I'm going to say it, and it's crazy, but I would prefer multipass to be one, or multipass Lightning Lane to be one thing. Get rid of Premier, get rid of the individual, just multipass Lightning Lane, go universal style, use surge pricing, and if that means you're selling the Premier Pass for $100 or $125 or whatever it is per day, per person, fine, but make it one option. No more booking reservations for times to return. And maybe even make a special tier. Premier Pass could be the version where you get to go as many times as you want in the Lightning Lane instead of just once per ride. Because right now, a big thing you do have to be concerned about if you do the multi-pass is you may only get to do 3 or 4 Lightning Lanes that day, depending on how you use your times, how busy it is and things. At least with Premier Pass, you're going to get to do all the Lightning Lane and individual Lightning Lane attractions. So you get that too. But yeah, I just, and maybe eventually we get there. But I don't know. I think once Disney goes down this path of like tiering things out and knowing that they can, we can get people to buy if we have this lower option.
Yeah, but that's my thing though. And I don't know if it's because they have 4 parks or like, we already know I'm a Universal person or whatever, but I do like, I think that would just be easier in my head. Like that's just an easier, and how it is at Universal where you stay at X resort, you can get like either you get the Premier Pass, like they're saying on a discount if you stay at like a top tier resort,
yeah,
or you get some sort of unlimited situation. Like I feel like they maybe it's not as profitable, or maybe it's not as doable, or maybe they already have these systems in place, so it's just easier for them to maintain them. But I just feel like having 2 lines, because at that point you still have wait times for both, and you can it'll still manage your crowd because people will just go here, 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 and here. Some rides won't have express and some will. Like I don't know. I don't know They could still do like reserved seating for show, like, yeah. Or they could still do like the reserved area for shows. I just feel like they're realizing what they're doing and now they're going back, but they're still charging for the old system. I don't know.
None of us know.
Wish it was cheaper. I wish it was cheaper. I will say, I think it's a great concept. I wish it was affordable.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, and we all know, Steffers, you're a Universal girly, and that's totally fine. But I think that I'm with you on the fact that Universal does this right, and they have no reason to change like their system. Express works.
But it's 2 parks versus 4, and then the 4 Disney parks offer different things. Like, well, I can see the issues. I can see why it won't necessarily work apples to apples.
Yes, but isn't it true at Universal if you want Express at multiple parks, you have to pay for that. Otherwise, it's
Correct.
single park. I mean, it's the same thing.
No. So if you're staying at a deluxe resort, that Express works for Universal and Islands.
Oh, sure. Yes. I meant if you're buying it like as a day guest.
Oh, yeah. There's one park to park.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you still have to pay for that. I'm sure it's
Yeah, but then wouldn't we end up where we are?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
But I'm just saying, I think what they do work. I've never had any problem with Universal's Express system.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I think dollar to dollar wise, because Disney offers more in terms of more parks, more experience, whatever. Like, I still, unfortunately, I think like the price point will still be the same. So like changing the setup in hindsight, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think they're changing it too much though, because I think the more they change it, the more my brain hurts.
Well, and one thing we always have to keep in mind is that the VIP tour program that Disney does is pretty lucrative for them, and they always have to keep in mind not impacting that. Yeah,
that makes sense too.
Yeah. So they can't make this so appealing that people stop doing the private VIP tours. So that's
a bucket list thing for me, I think.
Oh yeah. That's something.
Keys to the Kingdom I'd love to do.
Listen, someday when the monorail really makes it, when we really arrive at the station, let me just tell you, we're doing it.
Oh, that's such a, like, I can see the video announcement, and then we're all just sobbing. Oh, it's great. What a great time. Speaking of sobbing, I sent Justin, I want to say this was last week. I sent him a reel and I said, for my 30th birthday, ? And the Erebus Tiara, I want to say it's Erebus, Tiara Foundry has created an exclusive make your own tiara at Magic Kingdom. It's an experience where you can create your own tiara on Main Street, USA. You can find it within the Crystal Arts Shop, which is a shop that showcases crystal and glassware items via Disney partner Erebus Brothers. Late last week, a new offering called the Erebus Tiara Foundry debuted, and for $89, guests can begin the process by selecting from 3 styles of tiara. Each style of tiara comes in either rose gold, gold, or silver, and then the stones come in a number of different colors and sizes to allow for plenty of customization. And then once you're done, an artisan will hand place and secure each stone. There are 2 design stations complete with a custom board to help guests visualize what the final product will look like. So I said we should all make custom tiaras.
Well, what's really funny is when you first sent this to me, you didn't send any context.
No, I don't do that.
And so typically when I feel like you send me something, I take it as you're putting me on assignment. So my first reaction was, so you're going to make me go to Magic Kingdom and make myself a tiara?
Yeah. Listen, who wouldn't want to watch Justin make a tiara? I think that would be great content, to be honest.
This is this is the princess version of building your own lightsaber. It is.
That's cute.
Yeah.
And also, like, I would love to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, right? Mm-hmm. I am almost 30 years old, so I'm not going to be doing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I am not the correct, demographic for that. But this is like a great, like, keeping it. Everyone wants to be a queen or a princess or at some point, like, you want to slay in a tiara no matter what your age is. And I feel like this is a great experience for someone like me because I love display pieces. Like, realistically, where am I going to wear a tiara other than my 30th birthday? Because, but other than, like, where am I going to wear a tiara? But, like, it would be such a memorable piece of art to display. And you get to customize, like, I could do, like, a Mulan kind of theme tiara. I could do, depending on the colors, but I watched the video and I feel like there's a great assortment. Or I could just do like purple because purple's my favorite color. Like, there are just different vibes, and I just want a tiara. So,
and you deserve one, and
we all deserve one.
Yeah, we can definitely do this for your 30th. I think we should. Yeah, it sounds really nice. And I feel like, honestly, I have not seen it in person. I don't know, the quality of material that we're talking about here. But I have to assume, based on the fact that it's in the Crystal Art Shop, this isn't just a plastic piece of junk that's going to break as soon as you leave the shop. I would imagine that it's going to be a little more sturdy than that. I think $89 is kind of reasonable, to be honest, because the way Disney prices things like this, like experiences, well, you can compare it. It's pretty close in price to building your own droid. So droids are like, what, $100? I think they're 99. They might be 110.
No, I think they went up to 100 and I thought they were 120 now.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So it's cheaper than that. But that experience, it's interactive. You get to kind of do a little bit yourself, which is cool. But I don't know. I like this. And it would be, like you said, it'd be like a once in a lifetime thing. If you do this for yourself or a little princess that you have with you, it's going to be a memorable experience. Worthy of video and pictures, and she's going to feel she or he, either way, or they are going to feel great about it. So,
120 per droid.
120.
That is cheaper than making a droid.
So it's cheaper than
the droid moves and stuff, but like you can literally make a dreamer's day with this tiara.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. Oh, and then you can book a $99 solo capture the quick moment the photography session, then you can slay in the park with your tiara and take a bunch of pictures. Yeah. I'm just like, listen, if you're gonna spend the money, you might as well also get like the full experience. I'm just saying.
This is great. This is a great tip.
I try.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is cool. I like this addition, and I think as someone who I can't say anything about spending money on collectibles at Disney because I've spent plenty of my own and for things that are not worth the price that I paid. But the experience is what you're paying for, with some of this stuff. And I say that as someone who did get to build my own lightsaber. I know that my lightsaber is not a $200 piece of equipment, but that experience still sticks with me to this day. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So it was worth it to me, but it may not be worth it. But anyway, go do it and make sure you take plenty of pictures and videos. And if you do this, share it in our Facebook group. We'd love to see the little princes and princesses share their tiaras that they've put together. And if hopefully we're able to do this with Stephers, we'll make some videos and we'll put it in the Facebook group. By the way, join that Facebook group, Monday Morning Monorail Fam on Facebook. And you'll get to see all kinds of things like this. And Stephers was talking about, what do you call the photo session? The $90?
Capture. Okay. There's actually a real name for it, but I don't.
Oh, okay. We're going to look it up. And while you do that, I was just going to say,
capture your moment. Wow, I kind of nailed it.
You did. Good job. That's why you're the best in the biz, Stephers. Capture your moment. Yeah. Listen, I'm a fan of photo ops, and the fact that I've got the photo pass add-on to my annual pass. If I see a photo pass cast member unoccupied, I'm walking up. I'm like, I'm getting some pictures, because I'm not always having my best day, but who knows? Maybe they can help me look great. And my policy, and the thing you'll hear me say a bunch, is never waste a photo op, whether it be on a ride or in the parks. If you've got a photographer, and tell them too, you walk up to those cast members and you say, help me out. Like, I want these to be cool pictures. Help me with poses, whatever. They're happy to do it. They actually really love it when you want to like have fun with it. So, and the cast members are the ones that make the magic every single day. So enjoy that. But yes, tiaras, plenty of new princes and princesses and queens and kings walking around the parks. I'm pretty excited.
This was awkward because I just mentioned that other thing, and then this next article is negating the thing that I just brought up, but that's okay.
Well, let's talk about it. So a couple 4 or 5 episodes, it was recent. We talked
4 or 5 episodes recent.
It was recent. I don't know when. I can't remember what I did yesterday, Stephers. We talked about how there was a brand new offering over in Galaxy's Edge. If you have ever ventured and, explored Batuu, you would have definitely found the Millennium Falcon parked there. and it's beautiful. It's a great, speaking of photo ops, it's a great photo op, but it is stationed appropriately right in front of the ride, Millenium Falcon Smuggler's Run. And we recently told you that in addition to the single rider option, there was now going to be a double rider option for the Millenium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride. Well, after it debuted, it went for about 2 weeks, and now the double rider option at Smuggler's Run is no longer offered.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, are you surprised?
I don't think so, because, you know, it's funny. We talked about it on the show and none of us thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, it was just not a sustainable. Like, we could see the vision. However, that's the point of a normal line. Yeah. Anything over one, you're taking multiple seats of a car. Yeah. Come on, just because at least you could talk to somebody while you're in the line. Like, there are like, come on. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. And, you know, in the reading I've done around this, people have said, you know, the whole idea was Disney understands people don't typically want to sit in the engineer's seats. And you can't, if you go through the solo line, you don't get to pick your seat. It's funny, I use solo instead of single rider for Millenium Falcon. If you go through the solo line or the Chewbacca line, you don't get to pick your seat. If you go through the regular standby, they will let you say, like, if you say, I want to be a pilot, then they'll make sure that you can do that. Typically, I've never had an issue when I've done that. The cast member has always accommodated. Always ask if you want. Always ask, and it's up to the cast member to say yes or no. But single rider or solo, you don't get that option. So the whole idea here was, well, we have 2 engineer seats, and so maybe, you know, these 2 people will just fill those engineer seats. But really, you still can use the single rider line for that. You just take 2 singles. Or you do what everybody else does at other rides, and you take a look at the standby line and you say, do you have any parties of 2 before you go to the single? So, and then it's up to them, I guess, if they want to be the engineers. But anyway, I think, like I said, we saw the writing on the wall here. And also you're adding people to the single rider line, which is not cool.
Yeah, it's not beneficial for the truly single riders.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
So
we love a good single rider line, or at least I do.
This is really similar. I feel like, because I feel like when we started talking about that article, when Disney made the announcement, I started out kind of positive about it. And as we talked about it, we're like, no, this is a bad idea. And then we did that same thing with the AI checkouts at All Star Sports.
And then it was gone.
But we did that same journey, like, throughout the conversation. I think Landon brought up, you know, some good points. And I was like, wait a minute. Why? Yeah, you want to interact with cast members. This is a bad idea, and now they're gone. So
yeah, I think, which honestly, I applaud them for trying. Mm-hmm. I think the because it's so crowded, so popular, like, some things you're thinking they'll make things efficient, but really, especially with something like Disney, I just feel like you need the touch point of a cast member.
Yeah.
So it's just not, like, I don't know. Anyway.
I credit us for seeing through the noise and nonsense.
Always.
Yeah.
Gotta see through it. Gotta weigh pros and cons, because here we are.
That's right.
That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Oh, I get the sad news article.
I think it's time we get to it.
All right. Well, the day has come, my fellow dreamers. Muppet Vision 3D closing date has been announced. Disney has made a statement. To make way for the monsters, the Grand Avenue area will begin a phase closing in May, with the last day to dine at Melrose's Ristorante Italiano on May 10th. Following that, Muppet Vision 3D and Pizzerizzo will close, with the last day to experience both locations on June 7th. It's no secret that the Muppets have a special place in our hearts, and we are exploring ways to preserve the Muppet Vision 3D film and other parts of the experience for generations to come. If they have a special place in your heart, you wouldn't get rid of them.
Speak the truth. Speak truth into power, Stephers. Can we have a Muppets moment of silence, please, for just a minute? Because now it's official. Ouch. I can't even be silent because that's the pain coming out of me. You know, we talked about the fact that Disney mentioned before that they're going to try to find a way to preserve the film and other parts of the experience for generations to come. I don't know what that means. You know,
me neither.
in talking with some of the Monorail fam, I talked with Lewis about this when they were in town for the marathon weekend. Did you know Lewis ran the marathon? He did great.
I did not.
He didn't. But he did in spirit. We were all there with Natalie and Lexi and Travis. But he thought that there was no way they wouldn't put the film in another theater somewhere, like a smaller theater. Like they have to do it. And I just don't think that's true. I think
they're going to repurpose it for the pre-show of.
Yeah,
I think that's the only real way, unless they put. Okay, hear me out. What if they end up putting it in the where they play the shorts?
Yeah, the Mickey shorts. They're attached to that. It's attached to the Hyperion Theater, I think.
They could do that, but like I think if they take it and they implant it somewhere else, it's not going to be the same because you're not going to get the same experience of it being like a whole thing.
Right. I
think they'll take elements of it and implant it into the makeover.
I think that they might. I think that when they say other parts of the experience, that makes me think of the pre-show for Muppet Vision 3D, and it's a hilarious pre-show, but really part of the enjoyment of that area is just kind of looking around at all the visual gags in that room. I imagine that there's going to be a lot of those props that are taken over to the Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yep.
So I think that's part of it, and that's probably what they're saying here. Now, how they preserve the film, I don't know. Does it go on Disney Plus with like a 2D, 3D option? You know, does
fair?
Do they? I've heard people say maybe they send it to California Adventure, or I guess California Adventure. I don't know. I really don't know what that means. Does it go to like the Disney Animation Studio or something, and they do something there where you can
put it in the vault?
I really don't know, but. It's nice that, because I do think that at least Disney, because this is their official statement, at least they're acknowledging, like, they're big fans of not just the Muppets, but this show in particular, and knowing this was Jim Henson's last project. One thing I'm concerned about, because I know that the way we've talked about this, I've been approaching it from the perspective of accepting change and understanding that we can be upset and hurt about it. There's nothing we can do about it, and just having to kind of move on about it. But I do respect the fact that this was the last Muppets project Jim Henson was involved in, and I get that, and it should be preserved. I almost went full Indiana Jones and said it belongs in a museum, but I'm not going to do that.
Proud of you.
But yeah, I don't know what that means, because I also feel like Disney parks are not museums, and they're not memorials.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm not sure how you strike that balance in the parks, but I do think that, you know, just like you can see Mr. Toad handing the deed away when you ride the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, you know, there's going to be some nods and different things. Maybe, who knows, maybe the Muppets have some sort of a little Easter egg or presence in Monsters Inc. land in some way, but it won't be the movie, obviously, but yeah, I think we're more likely to see it impact the queue for the new Rock and Roller Coaster more than anything. So
yeah, I will say typically that's what people do. Like, I mean, even at Universal, like they have the King Kong, they have the odes to each ride. You know, the Mr. Toad thing in Pooh. Like, I think they're gonna maintain. Like, they're not gonna let you forget. But in terms of the film, the fact that there aren't any specifics, they could easily put it on Disney Plus. They could easily. I mean, I'm saying easily, but like that. They didn't really specify utilizing it in form of an attraction. They kind of just said, we're going to preserve it. So yeah. I feel like they will kind of make it.
They're going to freeze it in a block of ice like Captain America.
Exactly. I don't know. I feel like they might just post it online. You know what I wish they would do? Well, maybe they do already have this, like a section of Disney Plus that's like just park stuff.
There's like... park stuff that you can see, because they've got, remember they
have it sectioned off. Yeah, but do they have it sectioned off? Like
there was like a collection of park stuff, I thought.
Oh, okay. Because I know that they have park stuff. I just mean like I wish they would do more of like a parks focus, you know?
It would be nice. Yeah.
I loved the Imagineering story, so like anything that could just fuel that tick in my brain, like give it all, you know?
Do you remember the sunrise over like Magic Kingdom?
Yes.
Like those were really good.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, things like that. And of course they ended up posting Harmonious on Disney Plus. So there's definitely park content. And I remember there being a collection. You all can fact check us.
Might be.
And whatever, but
it might be. I haven't been on Disney Plus in a little bit. And typically when I watch Disney Plus, I watch like shows, but
I go to Disney Plus for Deadpool. Because it makes no sense. But that's what I like to do. Yeah. I mean, June 7th. So I think what this also means is we've talked in the past about maybe trying to coordinate like a marathon Muppet Vision Day. I'm wondering if this is something now we should consider doing.
Now that we have a date?
Yeah. I know there's going to be other people who do things like this, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on the 6th or 7th. Like I'm just thinking maybe sometime in the spring.
Prior.
In the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go and we can, you know, Muppet Vision baseline, Muppet Vision baseline.
Not a terrible idea. I mean, we can make it work.
Yeah. Make a whole day of it, and everybody wear their Muppet gear. We do have, by the way, if you go to our merch shop, we have Save the Muppets merch. DizMornings.com. Don't forget, you can see merch there. There's a lot of cool shirts, a lot of cool things you can get, but we do have Save the Muppets with various characters on them. Get them now before we get shut down for selling such a thing. Obviously, Disney doesn't care.
Oh,
yeah.
Pouring one out to our Muppet homies.
Maybe when they say they're going to preserve Muppet Vision 3D film, they just mean in their hearts.
Oh, I mean, honestly, wouldn't surprise me, but also they got to put the film somewhere.
Yeah.
I think they're going to put the film somewhere.
Yeah.
Have to.
Well, I hope so. Thank you, Stephers, for reading that one, because I didn't know if I could get through it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's okay. We'll be okay. I promise.
Reality. Also, I still have never been to Mama Melrose, and this is making me. I know people don't necessarily give it rave reviews,
yeah.
But it makes me sort of want to go before it closes just to try it. I actually did have a reservation there one day and ended up like not even going to Hollywood Studios that day. So,
well, the more you know.
Yeah. So we'll maybe make it over there, but we'll definitely, I mean, I guess I need to look and check with the fam and see if there's going to be a group of us that are in town all at the same time. And maybe we can do a Muppet Vision thing. Because I don't necessarily want to do that by myself. I would. I've done crazier things.
Oh, but you need someone's sleeve to snot on.
I do. Okay, so that wraps up our news for the day. But before we go, I just want to say really quickly. So I did get a chance to go experience the Festival of the Arts last Sunday, and I tried some of the foods. Now, just for you all, you're all my favorite members of the Monday Morning Monorail family. And just for you all, I decided to try something I've never had before.
Oh, no.
And I went for the soft shell crab slider. Now, let me just explain to you, I've never had soft shell crab. I love seafood and I'll eat just about anything, but I've never had soft shell crab. And the main reason I hadn't was because I didn't want to admit I don't know how to eat soft shell crab. I honestly didn't know. Like, do you eat the whole thing? The answer is yes, you do. You do eat the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no peeling. There's no, you just eat that whole mamma jamma. And so I thought this was my opportunity to try something new and be brave on behalf of the Monorail family. So I did get the slider. There's pictures of it. You can actually see I posted them. I posted on stories on Instagram, but I believe I did post these pictures in the Facebook group as well. So it looks like a spider coming out of your sandwich, a large, crunchy spider. And I was a little nervous, but I just went for it. And I got to tell you, I did like it. There's few things I end up not liking once I try them, but I did like it. If I had to describe it to anyone who is maybe open to it, but nervous about eating soft shell crab, the texture, especially like the legs and the claws in particular, they're very crispy and they're lightly fried. To me, those areas of the crab sort of reminded me of eating like onion straws, like crispy onion straws. If you've ever had those, like on a burger or something. But then once you get in there and you get to like the real body of the crab, it tastes less like crab to me and more like crawfish. That was kind of what the meat tasted like. So if you've ever had crawfish, it's a little more that than so it's a little more what would you call it? It's a little more of the sea, I think, or of the ocean. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it.
Oh,
in the same way duck is gamier than chicken, right? So I like duck, but it has to be.
I eat it all.
Yeah, if it has to be prepared well, because duck can be really like greasy and weird. So I think that even crab to soft shell crab, there's a little bit of a change. Don't expect like a real crab flavor. It also I would compare it to like if you've ever had a crab cake. Eating the middle of it sort of had a similar taste, but again, it was a little more fishy than crabby, or a little more crawfishy.
I'm not sure you're selling that. Like, I would eat it, but I'm game for anything. But I'm not sure if you're selling me on this.
I know. I know I'm not doing a great sale job on it, but I'm just telling you, I did like it. And
yeah, I mean, I'm glad you went out of your comfort zone for it.
Yeah, it was good.
Like,
They also have you can get a beer flight because that's at Opening Bites. It's over there by Communicore Hall. So I got the beer flight there and it was good as well. It has a Pilsner as one of the beers and I just don't really like Pilsners, but the other two beers are good. So if you like beer, then I would get that as well. They're colorful. They're very colorful looking and that was nice. Mm-hmm. Hey, and speaking of Communicore Hall, I got to go in there and take a look around. I need to post my video because I recorded a full video inside Communicore Hall because it has been all done up and prettied up for Festival of the Arts. And I loved it. I was really happy with what they've done with that space. I think this is what we all expected that space to look like when,
I'm happy.
Yeah, when it opened. So there's really not there's not seating in there now. There's no tables. There's no seating for now. It's all walk-through exhibits. There is some merchandise opportunities where you can get some of the Festival of the Arts stuff, but it's all like props and costumes and different things from Disney on Broadway. Really cool exhibits, and the way that they have the way they've got it lit and decorated, it's much better. So I'm feeling good about that as well.
So we're on the up for Communicore Hall, and I love to hear that.
Yeah, it makes me feel hopeful that maybe they now have figured out, like, for the festivals, this is kind of the direction they need to go.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So
I'm excited to see it.
I hope they run with that. I tried a couple other things. I was just going to say, I tried the wild mushroom risotto at the Canada booth.
I love risotto.
Oh, it was so good. Now, I was headed there anyway, but right at the same time, I was texting with Dr. Jacqueline, and she was like, hey, you should get that wild mushroom risotto. I was like, I'm literally getting in line to get it right now. It has a nice big piece of truffle on top, and it's got like some like gravy in there. I got to tell you, it was legitimately, to me, it felt like comfort food. It was just so good. Warm, filling, and it was a kind of a cold day when I was at Epcot, and it was great. Highly recommend that. I got the Wagyu buns from Japan, the steamed Wagyu buns from Japan. The thing I'd say, it was good. I was trying to say, typically steamed buns there's too much bao. There's too much breading for me. I would say that was not true with this. It was very well filled. A lot of meat. Oh,
that's good. I was going to say it wasn't too bready.
It wasn't. Not for me this time. I mean, bao is good, but you typically get a lot more of that than you do the filling. In this case, I got a lot of meat, and I thought it was really good. So I'd recommend that. And then the last thing I tried the carne asada from the Mexico booth. Had it not been cold, because it was served to me cold, the flavors were good. But otherwise, yeah. I feel like I did a really good job, like, picking stuff that I liked. All those things I would recommend to anyone to try. I wish you luck that your carne asada is warm. Maybe even hot. Yeah, but mine.
At least it was edible.
Yeah, it was edible. It tasted good. If you like steak or carne asada, you're gonna like it.
Which I do.
Who doesn't?
I won't be down. Farts will be over, but it's a good thought, at least for me.
So those are my recommendations for Festival of the Arts. Those are the only things I tried, but I felt like I batted 1,000 on my picks. So, and if you've tried some other things and you've got recommendations, share them with the fam in the Monday Morning Monorail fam Facebook group. You can also follow us on all the social medias. We're at Morning Monorail on Blue Sky and on Instagram and TikTok. And we have a Discord that you can also join if you want to chat with us all week long. It's been a little quiet, at least for me, the last week. It's been a busy week. Plus, I got sick. I'm not going to blame the soft shell crab. I think it was something else.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah, because, that was not good. But anyways, join us in the Discord. If you want an invite, there is a static link that you can use in the Facebook group, the Monday Morning Monorail Fam Facebook, or just send us a message. You can do that. And again, make sure you visit dismornings.com for all your needs on the Diz Mornings network. And I would just remind you that if you are planning a trip down, whether it's for Festival of the Arts, whether it's for Flogar, or any time in the next year or coming years, you can use our travel agent Stephers or our travel agent Nate to help you plan your trip. There's a form on the dismornings.com website that you can fill out and just tell us what you're looking for. There's, fill out as much information as you can, and either Stephers or Nate will get back to you and help you to schedule, plan, reserve, book, all that stuff. And they will make sure that you get the best deals you can possibly get on your rooms. And it'll be great for everybody. And don't worry if you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to Disney, I'm going on a cruise. They can help you with that too. In fact, they love it. They love helping you book a cruise. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think
let us help you.
Help us help you have a great Walt Disney World or other vacation. Dismornings.com, your one-stop shop for everything. All right. Stephers, I think that'll make a podcast for the day.
True.
What do you have to plug this week?
Oh, plug. Yes. I am Adventures with Stephers on pretty much everything. Threads is my main platform now because Instagram's algorithm is borky, but you can find me on Instagram, Adventures with Stephers. I would absolutely, positively love if you would support me and subscribe to my YouTube. My YouTube is Adventures with Stephers. We're on the up here. I have a new video coming out. Actually, by the time you listen to this, it'll probably already be out. I'm documenting my Final Fantasy VII remake journey. So I think we're on part 4 or 5 now. It'll be coming out 10 a.m. today if you're listening to this before 10 a.m. But if it's out now, if you're listening after 10 a.m. And then Twitch Adventures with Stephers as well. If you want to give me a follow, I play Final Fantasy on Wednesdays and Fridays, and then Saturdays are kind of variety games. So yay.
It's a variety pack.
It's a variety pack. And I have a Gimli cam, so if you ever just want to see Gimmers, he joins my streams often. He has his own dedicated webcam.
I'd love to get on into this gaming at some time, Stephers. I want to join in. The fun.
Landon's already joined.
I know.
You too can join. You can be part of the Avengers with Stephers.
We need to do it. We need the Avengers to assemble. The bad boys. Bad boys need to ride. Mm-hmm. Well, I will say on Landon's behalf, don't forget that you can follow him on Blue Sky. It's THEDOZ, the Dawes on Blue Sky. And you can also listen to him on News Talk 98.7. He is on the radio 6 to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday. I think he's back this week. And you can... Yeah.
No, you can stream it on the... What were you going to say?
You can stream that on 987.com.
Yeah.
It's News Talk 987.com.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, livingwiththelandon.com is now your one-stop shop for all things Living with the Landon. That is coming up real quick. So get your pledges in, get your merch, get your goodies, get your head in the game. Oh, I don't know who will get that reference, but if you get the reference, thank you.
It's literally 2 months away now.
Yeah, I know. We got to talk about plane tickets. It's fine. I'm stressed. I'm so stressed.
I'll come pick you up, Stephers. It'll be fine.
Okay, that sounds good.
Actually, that might be fun. Maybe I take a road trip up there, just pick you up and bring you down. And then I'll fly you
only
back.
One way. Oh, yeah. Well, one way. Anyway, so countdown is on April 1st. Living with the Landon, marathon riding. Living with the Landon with Landon. Living with the land with Landon. Listen, there's too many lands in this whole thing. But don't forget, it's going to a really good cause. Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. And Food for Kids. Mm-hmm. Food for Kids. I was trying to make sure that was the name of the thing. So go do it. Pledge your allegiance to Living with the Landon.
Yes, join us. It's a great fundraiser. We've got several who are on board already. Thank you so much if you've already made your pledges. We appreciate that. And there's a form, Living with the Landon. Go to livingwiththelandon.com and you can get all the information. And then, as for me, it doesn't matter. I'm Justin _Monorail on all things. And you can follow me if you want to. I don't know what I'm doing on TikTok. It's a lot of random stuff, but we're having some fun with it. I may be wrapping up the dating app adventure series.
No, but it's really what everyone wants.
For my own good, I may be wrapping that up, but we'll see. But you know what? I'm just really glad that you all are here and you're part of the Monday Morning Monorail family. And I hope that you continue to do that into the future. Make sure you tell your friends about the show. Tell others if you have people that come to you that want to talk Disney, give them all your knowledge and then be like, hey, if you listen to podcasts or you like to watch YouTube podcasts, you should check out the Monday Morning Monorail. They're fun and they have a lot of stuff to say. They don't really know what they're talking about, but they like to chat about it. And we'd love to have them. We love to have everybody on board. There's plenty of room. We always say plenty of room for every single person on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being who you are. You're all our favorite members of the Monday Morning Monorail family. And until next time, thank a team member, thank a cast member, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.